Welcome back to my channel. In continuation of the class 12th CBSE board practical exam in chemistry, I am uploading today a video concerning acid radical analysis, the performance part as well as the viva questions. Now we move on to concentrated sulfuric acid radicals. These radicals are nitrate, acetate, chloride, bromide and iodide. Remember, do not boil the solution with concentrated sulfuric acid because it may decompose to give sulfur dioxide gas and your indications may not be clear. You can warm in case you do not get an observation spontaneously. We can warm but not boil. Right now, the first radical I'm taking is nitrate. Nitrate gives a brown gas with concentrated sulfuric acid. Nitrite also gave a brown gas. Nitrate also gives brown gas, but nitrite gave a brown gas with dilute sulfuric. Nitrate is giving with concentrated sulfuric, and this brown gas is basically slow to appear. Now with nitrate salts, initially you get colorless. Please note this down. Get colorless vapors of nitric acid initially, right, which you may confuse with chloride ion due to liberation of HCl. So how do we confirm whether it's chloride or it's nitrate? Immediately when you add a small paper pellet, a small rolled piece of paper or copper turnings, any of this when you add, there is a quick, very spontaneous evolution of brown colored NO2 indicating it is nitrate ion, right? And nitrate is a blue colored gas. What is the viva question that you can be asked? You know, NO2 is a paramagnetic molecule. It is an odd electron molecule, and that is why it is colored. It is brown in color. This is the viva question related to this particular point. And the reactions involved: calcium nitrate with concentrated sulfuric acid is going to initially liberate nitric acid, colorless vapors, which with carbon, which is a reducing agent, is going to reduce this nitrate to NO2. And in case we use copper, copper is also acting here as a reducing agent, reducing nitrate to NO2. So what is the confirmatory test for nitrate? Copper test, that is the same as we've done here. When you add salt, concentrated sulfuric acid and copper pellets, reddish brown fumes are observed. Ring test, a very important test. Take water extract, that is OS, that is solution in water, freshly prepared ferrous sulfate, and add concentrated sulfuric acid along the walls of test tube. Walls of test tube, very important, because if you shake the test tube, if you don't add slowly, you may not observe a clear ring form because it all mixes. So you will find dark brown ring at the junction of the two layers, the solution and the sulfuric acid layer. Right, so nitrites with ferrous sulfate give a brown or black solution, whereas nitrates give a brown ring. Right, now next important viva question is give chemistry of brown ring test. You have done this chemistry in P block chapter. This is nitrate from the salt, ferrous from ferrous sulfate, and H plus from the acid. All this leads to liberation of nitric oxide, which is also a paramagnetic gas, plus ferric ion plus water. And this unreacted ferrous, this is unreacted ferrous plus the formed NO are going to form this complex which is brown in color. So the unreacted complex with NO is formed. We sometimes this complex is expressed this way, or this is the proper formula of the complex. This is the formula of the complex in brown ring test. And also remember, in this brown ring complex, iron is in +1 oxidation state. This is one of the important multiple choice questions that we do. Iron is in +1 oxidation state. Why? Because NO gives its electron to this Fe2 plus and converts to Fe1 and this NO itself becomes +1. This is very important both for JEE children as well as your practical viva. Such kind of questions are generally asked from good students because although it's not very fair, but there's always a tendency of examiners to ask good questions from good students, right? So this is one of the probable questions the external might be asking. And children, before I move on to the next radical, I would like to comment. Here I said NO2 is paramagnetic and therefore it's colored. And in the last content, we had talked of permanganate, dichromate ion and permanganate ion. These are also intensely colored orange and pink. Now both these are colored not because of paramagnetic character but because of charge transfer spectra. This is another point that you can keep in mind. Dichromate ion and permanganate ion are colored ions due to charge transfer spectra and not due to paramagnetism. Generally, color is associated with either paramagnetism, that is DD transitions, availability of vacant d orbitals, or it can be due to charge transfer spectra. Yeah, we move on to the next ion, acetate ion. Again, a simple ion which is easy to identify. This is observed by vinegar-like smell during dry heating test, as well as with concentrated sulfuric acid, we get vinegar-like smell due to acetic acid formed. Confirmation, water extract plus neutral ferric chloride solution, we get red color, which on dilution and boiling gives brown precipitate. And ester test, pinch of mixture or pinch of salt is heated with concentrated sulfuric acid and ethanol. Esterification leads to formation of this ethyl acetate fruity smell. Okay. And the next is oxalic acid test, salt plus oxalic acid plus a drop of water. Just rub the paste between your thumb and finger and smell vinegar-like smell. Indicates presence of acetate. And here I have shared the chemistry of this test. Acetic acid with oxalic acid leads to acetic acid formed, vinegar-like smell. This is not acetic acid, children. This is the metal acetate. Metal acetate matlab, if your metal is sodium or your metal is magnesium or your metal is lead, whatever metal you have here, so metal acetate is going to lead to formation of metal oxalate and acetic acid. Similarly, metal acetate and sulfuric acid will give acetic acid. Acetic acid with ethanol gives ester. And again, I've taken a specific example of sodium acetate. It can be any acetate salt with ferric chloride gives a red color due to ferric acetate. And this ferric acetate with water gives a brown PPT of this basic ferric acetate. Right? This is chemistry of the tests involved. Now next, very important ions, again for your MCQs, JEE, for all kinds of exams and your practical viva. Everything regarding this is important, so please stay tuned and listen very carefully. Chloride, bromide, iodide with concentrated sulfuric acid. For chloride, we get liberation of HCl gas, which is observed as a colorless pungent gas. For bromide, it's yellowish brown vapors due to bromine, and iodide gives iodine, deep violet pungent vapors. Now, how do we do confirmation? Confirmation of chloride is done with silver nitrate test. White precipitate of AgCl soluble in ammonium hydroxide. This is again a very, very important viva as well as multiple choice question for AgCl. Why is silver chloride precipitate soluble in ammonium hydroxide? You've done this also in P block. This is due to formation of a soluble complex. Please remember and know the formula of this soluble complex as well. Silver has coordination number 2. This is a formula of soluble complex. Then another question that can be asked is silver nitrate reagent. Silver nitrate reagent is stored in dark colored bottles. Why? Because it is photosensitive, right? It gets affected by light. So it is stored in dark colored bottles. And then the second very important test for this is chromyl chloride test. Chromyl chloride test, before I begin with this, children, is very, very important. My favorite question, because every year children give me a very funny answer to this. I always ask, is chromyl chloride added or formed in chromyl chloride test? Right? So most of the times when children start describing chromyl chloride test, they tell me to the salt add chromyl chloride. So please remember, chromyl chloride test means chromyl chloride is formed when you perform this test with the salt. And what is the test? We take the salt, the chloride salt, add orange red solid potassium dichromate. Very important. I'm insisting again and again. Please keep this in mind for a variety of questions in variety of exams that you can face. Salt with potassium dichromate, which is an orange red solid, and concentrated sulfuric acid, heat. you get red vapors of chromyl chloride. Again, remember, red vapors are of chromyl chloride. Pass through sodium hydroxide, you get yellow solution for sodium chromate, and then add acetic acid or lead acetate, you get a yellow precipitate due to lead chromate, right? And this test has been performed in one of my videos where I have explained analysis of chloride ion experimentally. You can go through that to check. Now, another important, all these questions noted here are very important for your Viva. First, magnesium chloride. I've taken this as an example of a chloride salt. When you add concentrated sulfuric acid, you get liberation of HCl. This is the indication, HCl, that is a colorless pungent gas. But if we had a bromide or an iodide salt with concentrated sulfuric acid, we'll first get liberation of HBr or HI. But immediately with this strong oxidizing concentrated sulfuric acid, HBr will get oxidized to bromine. So you will be observing yellowish brown pungent gas, and in case we had HI here, iodine deep violet colored vapors. Okay, now why this difference? Why chloride salt gives HCl whereas a bromide or iodide salt gives bromine and iodine? Reason, again, very, very important, children. Even this time, I think in one of the JEE online exams, there was a question related to chlorine, bromine, iodine, something to do with oxidizing character or bond energy. Or these are very favorite topics, children, every year for your exams. So please note this down. HBr and HI are more easily oxidizable to bromine and iodine. And we have an oxidizing concentrated sulfuric acid. So the order of, if I ask you what is the order of reducing agent ability, reducing ability of these halogen acids, this is given in P block in your NCERT. So the order of reducing ability of these halogen acids is HI more than HBr more than HCl. Since this is the best reducing agent, it itself undergoes oxidation most easily. How can you think? You can think by the classical concept saying HI is a long bond, weak bond. This HI easily loses H to something else and hence leads to its reduction. Itself loses H means undergoes oxidation to I2. This is one way of explaining. Another, this is the best reducing agent. Why? Because the I negative in this is a large sized ion. It can easily lose electrons, get oxidized easily, and hence act as a reducing agent. जो वो खुद इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करेगा वो किसी और को देके उसको रिड्यूस कर देगा. So it's a very good reducing agent. So all these questions are very important for your Viva plus your JEE mains, children. Very, very important, very high yield topics. Now I am dealing with you the chemistry of chromyl chloride test. For the chemistry of chromyl chloride test, again I have taken magnesium chloride, a chloride salt with concentrated sulfuric acid is going to liberate HCl. When you add orange red solid potassium dichromate to this with sulfuric acid, we are going to get this component CrO3. CrO3 chromic oxide is again a red solid. This is a dark red or a reddish brown solid, whereas dichromate was a orange red solid. These colors are very important. So this CrO3 plus HCl is going to give chromyl chloride. These are red vapors. Chromyl chloride, we are going to pass through sodium hydroxide solution. Yellow solution will be formed due to sodium chromate. Sodium chromate is a soluble salt, so a yellow solution is observed. So this is the chemistry of chromyl chloride test. Potassium dichromate, chromium trioxide and chromyl chloride are all +6 oxidation state. All are colored due to charge transfer spectra. +6 oxidation state of chromium means no vacant d orbitals. So very important point again to keep in mind. Bromide iodide do not give this test as chromyl bromide and chromyl iodide. They are unstable. Bromide salt gives a pale yellow PPT with silver nitrate, which is sparingly soluble in ammonium hydroxide, and iodide salt gives a yellow PPT with silver nitrate, which is insoluble in sodium hydroxide in ammonium hydroxide. These two are the confirmatory tests for bromide and iodide. Another confirmatory test for bromide and iodide is MnO2 test. Add manganese dioxide to the salt, concentrate sulfuric acid. Brown vapors indicate bromine, bromide confirmed, and violet vapors indicate iodine, liberation of iodine, which confirms iodide. And I've told you earlier also, the oxidizing agent order for halogens is chlorine, bromine, iodine. The reducing agent order of halogen acids we did in a little while back was HI is the best reducing agent, followed by HBr, followed by HCl. So best reducing agent is HI amongst halogen acids, but amongst halogens the best oxidizing agent is chlorine. So using this basic fact, we're going to do another test, another confirmatory test for halides, halogens, is organic layer test or the carbon disulfide test. In this, we are going to take salt, water, that is OS. To this, we are going to add chlorine water. Chlorine water can be prepared by any of the various methods. One of the methods is we will take KMnO4 and add HCl to it. KMnO4, concentrated HCl, a yellowish green colored chlorine gas will be liberated along with formation of brown MnO2, right? So this solution, this chlorine solution, we are going to take for chlorine water. Then we will add a few ml of carbon tetrachloride or carbon disulfide or chloroform, any of these organic solvents. And since water and these organic solvents are not miscible with each other, you know, for miscibility the rule is like dissolves likes. This is a polar solvent water, this is these are non-polar, so these are not going to be soluble. Plus in alkyl halide chapter you've done polyhalides are heavier than water. So these are more dense, these are heavier than water. So these are going to form the lower layer and water is going to form the upper layer. So to the OS, that is salt plus water, we'll add chlorine water and then we'll add this organic solvent, and we will observe the salt, the bromide or iodide salt which was present in water layer on adding chlorine is going to undergo this reaction. Chlorine, which is a better oxidizing agent than bromine as well as iodine, is going to oxidize bromide of the salt present in aqueous layer to bromine. This bromine, on shaking the tube, is going to dissolve in carbon tetrachloride, giving a brown color to the organic layer, indicating presence of bromide ion. So this is organic layer test. This is also mentioned in your NCERT +1 redox chapter. Okay. So similarly, if we had iodide salt, so iodide would have been present in the aqueous layer, but chlorine from chlorine water would tend to liberate iodine, which is non-polar. Bromine and iodine are non-polar. So when the two layers are shaken, that is water and the organic layer are shaken, this bromine prefers to dissolve in the non-polar organic solvent, that is carbon tetrachloride, giving it color. So bromine gives brown color and iodine gives violet color to the organic layer. So this is the layer test. Practically all schools don't perform this, so in case your school has performed, it will be helpful. Otherwise it is very important for your MCQs part. So last we have the independent radicals, the sulfate or the phosphate. The independent radicals, last we have the independent radicals, that is sulfate or phosphate. If there is no observation with both dilute sulfuric acid and concentrated sulfuric acid, you will conclude it's a sulfate radical. And for sulfate, simply add barium chloride to the water extract, that is water plus salt solution. A white PPT due to insoluble barium sulfate formed indicates presence of sulfate ion, and this white PPT will be insoluble in dilute HCl. You can add lead acetate to the water extract. A white PPT soluble in excess hot ammonium acetate solution also confirms presence of sulfate ion. And if you get sulfate or phosphate, remember, then the chance of these ions present as your basic radicals gets minimized. So in case these ions are absent, then you can also skip the flame test because the chances of mainly flame test is shown by copper ion, barium ion, strontium ion, calcium ion, right? So if barium, strontium, calcium are absent, copper ion is one radical which you can see from the color itself. So maybe you can skip the flame test and first follow the other test. And also remember children, only soluble salts are a part of your CBSE syllabus. Insoluble salts are not included in your board syllabus. So this was about acid radicals. I'll be uploading in the next video about basic radicals. And if you go through the content in this, children, you prepare yourself well for the performance part of the acid radicals, as well as all the viva questions that can be asked related to this topic. So please go through this again and learn the content, and stay tuned for my next video on basic radicals. All the best for your exam.